Hi guys, welcome back to London tonight. I'm in the East End again, right opposite Spitalfields Market right now. Just finished work for the day, and as you can see, it's a pretty typical evening here in London. Cold, windy, wet from intermittent rain all day and dark. Pretty rotten all round really. So I fancy something for dinner, something hot and something substantial. I fancy fish and chips, which is one of the quintessential British dishes, British meals. Although that is a hotly contested list. I just checked online to see if I could find out the origins of fish and chips, and no one really seems to know. They think chips came from Belgium, with Belgian immigrants I guess, and the fish was brought from Europe by Jewish immigrants at some point, but again, when is contested. But it's believed at some point in the middle of the 19th century someone combined the two and we got fish and chips as we know it today. So large chips, not like American French fries, and fish fillets deep fried in batter. And that might sound, for anyone not in Britain, that might sound like a terrible thing to do to a fish. It's quite delicate. Even steaming it, poaching it, it can fall apart and be ruined. But the batter, which is flour and water, forms like a case, a cocoon, in which the fish is almost steamed. It comes out like it's been steamed or been poached. It's delicious. It's making me hungry thinking about it. Now there's an award-winning fish and chip shop right here, just opposite Spitalfields Market. Poppies. So let's go in, get some dinner. That's the old Truman Brewery. And at the end of this street is Brick Lane. So on that corner there is Spitalfields. So Poppy's been right here. It's kind of right in the middle of hipster central.
Every single one of my friends has a different idea of what makes the perfect fish and chips. Which fish for a start? Cod's my favourite, so that's what I'm going to go for tonight. I'm going to go for a regular. Don't be fooled by portion sizes in fish and chip shops. They underestimate them. When they mean large, when they say large, they mean absolutely massive. I'm also going to go for a side of pickles, gherkin. I prefer gherkin. Some people like pickled onions, pickled eggs, and I'm going to go for bread and butter. I like to make a chip butty to go with my meal. And then I guess I need a drink. With all those calories, I'm sure this is going to be absolutely massive. I don't need any more calories, so I'm going for a Coke, a Diet Coke. As I was saying, what makes the perfect fish and chips is largely a matter of personal preference. First of all, there's the fish. As I said, cod's my favourite. You get haddock, plaice, skate, catch of the day. Then there's the batter, the crispy case which forms during cooking, which is essentially flour and water. But every chippy has their own secret recipe. Some add beer or soda as well. Then there's the chips, the type of potatoes, I guess. They have to be thick cut, but how chunky. And different chip shops use different oils or fats to cook them in. Then there's the condiments. I like plenty of salt and vinegar myself, but which vinegar? Malt vinegar or pickle vinegar? Then there's the sides. I like pickled gherkins. I find it a nice contrast to the fish and chips, but others prefer pickled onions, pickled eggs, or even mushy peas. Then there's the sauce. Tomato ketchup, tartar sauce, or curry sauce. And with each of those, there's a choice of brands. So picking the best chip shop is personal preference, but there are good ones and there are bad ones, and Poppies is one of the good ones. Fish and chips is a reasonably priced meal, especially takeaway throughout the UK. Poppies is not a cheap chippy, but I think that's the only criticism it gets. It's not overpriced when you consider what they offer. If you sit in any other restaurant and order a sustainably sourced fillet of fish, especially in this part of town, as a main course, it will most probably cost you considerably more. So this is a regular sized portion of Poppies cod and chips. Wow, look at the size of the bread and butter. They're proper doorsteps. I'm going to struggle to make a chip butty out of those, but I am going to try. And a gherkin, sliced. How civilised. But yeah, this is a regular sized portion. Comes with lemon, I'll give that a squeeze over the fish, pot of tomato ketchup and a pot of tartar sauce. The batter's lovely and crispy, and inside you've got the lovely soft flaky white cod. Okay, let's tuck in. Okay, I thought I'd give it a go as it comes, and it's absolutely delicious. I like to absolutely cover it in salt and douse it in vinegar, but I'll have the salt and vinegar police after me for the amount I use, so I won't show you that. As I was saying earlier, so much of fish and chips is about personal preference, and I prefer my tartar sauce a little bit coarser with the chunky chopped up bits in it, and maybe a little bit more of a generous serving. But that's hardly a deal breaker. This will be fine. So I would definitely recommend Poppies if you're visiting London and want to try some genuine British fish and chips at its finest. It's a pucker chip shop with nice friendly service. They have a takeaway service here, and they have a takeaway over the road at a kiosk in Spitalfields Market. So you can get a takeaway either here or over in the market, and then have a wander around the market, take a look at what's on offer on the day if you fancy. It's a very popular and very busy little restaurant, but if there's room in the restaurant like there is today, I definitely recommend, like I have, stopping by in the restaurant and eating in. I think you can make reservations here as well. The restaurant is modern in its approach, but its design by the owner is vintage in style. It's old school chip shop meets 50s American diner. It's a really charming and relaxed atmosphere to take a break from the world outside. Okay, I got the bread and butter to make a chip butty, and for those of you not in the UK, a chip butty is a chip sandwich, bread, butter, chips, and I'm putting on a little bit of sauce, some tomato ketchup. It's technically a doorstep chip butty because of the thickness of the bread, but that's a whole nother thing. In fact, the bread's beyond doorstep. It's ridiculous. So if this was making you hungry, watching me trying to fit this in my mouth will probably put you right off your dinner. It's a bit of a mouthful. Look, beautiful. Don't try that if you come here on date night. The whole thing was delicious. I polished the whole lot off. As I was saying earlier, every Londoner, probably every Brit, will tell you the best chippy in their opinion, and everyone will have a different opinion. But Poppies is a great place to start if you've never tried fish and chips, and it's a great place to come even if you're like me and you've been eating it regularly since childhood. It will set your expectations in terms of exactly what to expect, and it will set them pretty high. This is an award-winning chippy.
Okay, Poppies was delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video. So please hit the thumbs up, like button if you did, and if you'd like to be the first to see my new films, the subscribe button. Toodles! In case you're wondering what Spitalfields Market looks like at night after a day's trading,